Hello everyone, today I'll be presenting you the geography of my story. My project explores how culture and place shape my identity through three cities that changed my life: Bogota, Cancun, and Vancouver. So let's start with Bogota. Okay, so Bogota is where my identity began. Indirectly, I learned a bit of how the world works and how everyone has even a minimum impact in the world. Every day we face decisions, and sometimes we don't realize the effect it has in many things. So I would consider Bogota as a multicultural landscape where you can find many foods, accents, music, but we all have unique cultural traits. That is where you can see that places shape culture and culture shapes places, which means that where you grow up shapes who you are, and who you are helps shape the place you live in and can influence others' life. For me, Bogota represents a place. I have an emotional, cultural, and personal bond to the city, as most of my best memories happen there, and it shaped who I am. So I also impacted the city, and I think this is by my daily routine, by using transport, studying there, interacting with people, having relationships, all of this, while the city provides opportunities for me to grow and shape my values, moral, and life through those experiences. Bogota also shaped my language, which is a key element of cultural systems because we all have different accents, the phrases we use, all of that is like culture passed from one generation to another. And now, going a little bit farther, it is also considered as a semi-peripheral city, so it does have a connection between other cities. And being raised in the capital gave me a perspective that helped me to live abroad and later taught me like about globalization before I even knew the real world. Because with today's technologies, you can connect to international brands, to music, no tourists from other countries, but it's not the same as facing other cultures abroad. And that helped me to take an important decision that changed my life for good. In my last school year, I had no clue of what to do, but since I was a little kid, I have always loved to travel, so I decided to do that after graduating. My parents gave me the chance um, to take a gap year where I could focus and take the big decision about what will I do with my life. And my aunt also traveled some years ago to Mexico because her wife required her to do so, and she gave me the idea to go visit her so I could travel and learn more about other cultures as her. So I decided to travel to our next stop, that is Cancun, a place that changed completely my perspective of things. My first experience alone in a region where local traditions and global tourism intersect every day. Being there made me understand culture as a shared set of meanings lived through daily practices, symbols, and interactions. In Cancun, I saw how Maya heritage, the Mexican identity, and global influences could coexist in the same space, and you can notice how all can be connected through daily life and shared spaces. Here, the Riviera Maya is a perfect example of a cultural landscape shaped by the interaction between people and the natural environment, beaches, the hotels, the markets, and also the communities that are shaped by both tourism and tradition. So, as we know, tourists from all around the world spend their vacations there, and you can see many languages, music, nationalities, which makes you aware of how culture is dynamic, fluid, and is always changing, but also how the warm and welcoming Mexican environment prevails, and how those traits together form the cultural complex of the region. At the same time, I wasn't just observing culture, I was participating in it. This through conversation, learning local phrases, and interacting with people daily by working with my aunt. I became part of that cultural flow of the region, and I contributed to exchange even in small ways, even by sharing a Colombian recipe for my Mexican friends I met there and haven't had the chance to try Colombian food. So I think Cancun is the place where I realize how interconnected cultures are and how moving through different places transforms who you are. And even if you think that those cultures, like Mexican and Colombian culture, are similar. And finally, the last stop would be Vancouver, of course. So Arriving to Vancouver was certainly one of the hardest parts and decisions of my life. Starting the new career alone after having company everywhere and every time and having everything given to me, here's where I realized that the world doesn't work as you expect to be, and you have to deal with it and get ahead to reach your dreams. I consider Vancouver as the place that transformed myself, and not just emotionally but culturally and personally, because after Bogota and Mexico, coming to Vancouver showed me what it means to live inside a global city, in a space shaped by migration, diversity, technology, and global flows of people and ideas. And as we know, place is a specific setting with physical, social, and cultural attributes that structure our routines and shape our identity. And that's exactly what Vancouver became for me, a place that is structured completely my new way of living, where loneliness at first forced me to change habits and lifestyle for good, but then transform in a better way to know people I will be grateful to have for the rest of my life, because they gave me the chance to explore. And because here one day you can hear Mandarin, can hear English, Spanish, and languages you haven't even heard, and that's where it becomes a map for global migration, living that diversity. I think that expanded my own identity and made me feel part of something much bigger than my local culture. Vancouver shaped me by making me more independent, confident, and I also shaped Vancouver through my presence as an international student, participating in the economy, in the educational system, and also by having the opportunity to share my culture and traditions with other people from many countries. And here I also experienced one of the strongest examples of the cultural landscape, because you can see mountains, ocean, parks all at the same time interacting with people who live here, and it shapes the behavior, the values, and the routines for anyone who comes here for any reason. Finally, in the world system, Vancouver is a core city connected to global culture, and by living here, it made me understand better the globalization, not just as a theory, but as my daily life, studying with people from all over the world, eating food from every continent, and adapting to a culture that mixes so many other. That I think that's Canadian culture, and even though I'm far from home, Vancouver became a part of my cultural identity, which is always changing, adapting, and influenced by the places and people we know. So, moving through Bogota, Cancun, and Vancouver taught me more than just geography. Each place shaped my identity in different ways and showed me how culture, people, and place are interconnected. I'm grateful for every single stage of this journey, because experiencing different cultural landscape makes you value what each place can give to you, the lessons, the people you know, the routines, also the challenges are part of that. And understanding these places helped me to understand myself too, and reminded me that my identity grows every day, and every time you move, you adapt and open yourself to the world. So that would be it. Thank you.